clip comparison to the rest of the year in the last 3 months of the year. This is just the way that the North American economy works, and so you want to take advantage of that. So I have a video that I recorded on one of these sessions a couple of weeks ago that's very good, that explains at a high level a number of these different things, which I think will sort of change your perspective and put some new ways of thinking into your head. So I'm going to play that. Afterwards, I know we talked about Instagram in the email we sent out. I can show you guys some tricks and some tips and some hacks, some tradecraft, if you like, on Instagram itself, on just how easy it is to post on Instagram. I've got my phone up on the screen already, and I could share it so we can get into those things. But what I'll do is I'll start with the video, and then after that is done, we'll get into the Instagram. Might even, because it's Friday, audit some of your guys' profiles, which will be very uncomfortable for you, okay? Because I know what most of you are doing. You're not posting enough. You're just posting your art. No one knows what you look like. No one knows what makes you interesting. You're too scared to share anything about yourself. Photographers love hiding behind the lens, and artists love hiding behind the canvas. It's been that way forever. This needs to change. I see a lot of you guys smiling. That gives me all the confirmation that I need to know. So we can talk about that if we need to, but I can really demystify some of the stuff and give you guys literally some things that you can do today, tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, to get your Instagram fired up. So we start with the video. After that's done, one other thing. It's Friday. You're busy. Some of you have kids. What happens if you have to leave? We record these entire sessions. After we record them and they're all done doing whatever they're doing, we put them in an email. Any of the links that I mention in any of the videos or after the fact, I will send you in an email after the fact so you can watch it at your leisure. I'm aware of how fast I talk. I've never been able to slow myself down. So, sometimes things get missed. I'm serious. I have second grade report cards where there was like, slow down. Hasn't taken in 43 years. So I don't think anything's going to change. So what else? Bottom of your Zoom window, you see the little chat bubble thing. That throws out the chat box. I'm in there. Andrew's in there. Juan from my team's in there as well, so we can answer questions that you might have as it rolls along. So if it's an easy thing to answer in the chat, we will do that. If I feel like you need a way more in-depth answer, then we'll just save it for the Q&A, and I can go in-depth on it in the Q&A. So that is the game plan. I'm excited about it. I'm going to get our video queued up, and then I will see you guys just on the other side for the Q&A. I jumped too far forward. There it is. Okay. I call this thing the Q4 boot camp because Q4 is coming, but I want to rant about something else because it's top of mind and it's important to me. And it's not Instagram, but we'll talk about that in a second too. Let me get off that so it's not distracting. So I should say I've been at this business for 8 years, and it was in the art industry before that. And I've been running sessions like this essentially 3 days a week since right around the time the pandemic started. So it's got to be 50,000 artists and photographers now over the course of that entire time. We have a little bit over 10,000 customers at Art Storefronts. I get to see all their data, not only on who's selling what prices, this, that, and the other, but also where did their traffic come from that actually led to these sales. What I've come to realize in all of that is there's only three viable ways to make it today as an artist, photographer who wants to sell their creations. Only three. And let's talk about the three. And to give it some teeth, let's just say a successful art business. I know everyone's definition of that is a little bit different, right? But for the sake of argument, let's just say a successful art business is an art business in which you have gross sales of $100,000 a year, right? Sounds like a lofty number, fine, but let's just say that. So, okay, there's only three ways to get there. Number one way, the way that everyone on this call would prefer to do, get into a gallery where all you have to do is create and they do everything else. That sounds awesome, right? Okay, let's work those numbers through. You're in a gallery, and you're doing $100,000 a year in gross sales. The gallery takes 50%. So that means at the end of the day, you get $50,000 back. And because it's gross sales, then you have to subtract your studio, your materials, your trips, your tripods, your lenses, all of that, and maybe you're left with $35,000. Hardly a living wage. Let's make that picture a little bit rosier. And by the way, the number of artists that are in that situation, that are selling $100,000 a year in a gallery, is probably less than 1 or 2% of the total artists and photographers that are out there trying to sell their art and photography. Let's make that picture a little bit rosier, and let's say $300,000. Okay, let's triple it in gross sales a year in a gallery. And with the aforementioned 50% haircut, 150, okay, you're making $100,000 a year. That's fantastic. That's less than 1%, probably less than 0.2% of artists and photographers out there. So in terms of a viable path forward, The way that I like to explain making it in a gallery is to have that level of success that way as an artist or photographer is kind of like playing a sport versus being a professional athlete. How many people do you know play a sport? How many professional athletes do you know, right? Like the odds are just not fantastic. And the real death knell to the gallery model is you guys are all going to be artists and photographers for the rest of your life. I routinely get people on these calls in their 90s still trying to sell their art, which is amazing. And you realize it's the long game. Wherever you are, you have a ton of time left, right, to do this, God willing, of course. If you don't know who's purchasing your art and you can't market to them for the rest of your life, you don't have the ability to develop collectors. Collectors are folks that'll come back and keep buying from you again and again and again, year after year after year. And it's the lifeblood of any art business. In the gallery model, you don't know because the gallery doesn't tell you who purchases. It's important to state that, important to understand that. All right, let's table the gallery model for a sec. Next is to become a road warrior. A road warrior is someone that does anywhere from 25 to 45 shows a year. The fairs, the shows, the farmers markets, the thises, the that's, and you are loading that car up, setting up the booth. Sometimes it's a dud, sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's inclement weather. You're away from your family, you're 8 hours a day on your feet. It is not easy, it's hard. That being said, totally viable path to get there. If I was an artist myself and I was like looking back at my life and I wanted to give my like 20-year-old self some advice, okay, Emma, talking to you, you're the young one here, it would be like, don't have wife, don't have a significant other, don't have kids, don't have a mortgage. And if you have any of those things, it's just a generalization. You're the young one and I'm looking at you. So go and do that when you're young. Because if you can do that when you're young, when you don't have the aforementioned significant other and kids and soccer games on Saturdays and a mortgage, that's when you're the freest to be able to do that. And it's totally a viable path. Like I've got multiple customers that are in their 50s and 60s that did it for years and years and years. One guy I think of, this guy, Bill Stidham, 175,000 miles on his van in 6 years that he just used for his art shows. I mean, he hit it hard. You know what that guy has now? Healthy 6-figure-a-year business, and he barely does any shows anymore because he built up the list. He built up a customer base. He built up collectors. The third way, okay, is what everybody really, truly has to do. It's what you want to do, which is, I know I'm not going to get into a gallery. I know I'm not doing the show and fair circuit. That's just too much. I can't be that road warrior. So I want to sell direct. I want to understand who's purchasing my work. And it's totally a viable path. It's what we advocate. Here's the rub, though. You have to market your own art. You have to market your own art. There is no one that is going to market it for you. And for some people, that is a painful thing to hear. For most artists and photographers, it's a painful thing to hear, but it's true. Anyone that's been in this business for any period of time knows that you guys are all sold a bill of goods that somehow an artist or a photographer's vocation is just to create this amazing thing and everything else just happens, and nothing could be further from the truth. You have to get good and understand that marketing yourself is just as important a job as creating what you create. And the sooner you come to terms with that, the way better your life becomes. Why? Because there's never been a better time in the history of the world to do it. Not even close. I mean, for those of us that are older and remember the days before these things existed and before social networks with hundreds of millions of people worldwide were on their phones all day long, do you know how hard it was? Do you know how much harder it was? You were geographically fixed on the planet somewhere, and that's where you started, and that's what you had. You had to grind way harder. Now, if you take your marketing vocation seriously, if you're like, I'm going to get good at this, if you realize that your art business is essentially 2 trains on 2 tracks. Train number 1, your art, your craft, your creations, your subject matter material, your brush, your lens, how good you get with all of that. That train has its own path, and it will go throughout the rest of your career. You want to get better at it. You want to make sure that train has no brakes. The other one is how good you get at marketing yourself, and you need to treat it seriously, and you need to turn it into an art form. And if you understand those 2 things, that is the path that artists and photographers get on, will become successful, will have a business that is growing year after year after year. And I really firmly do believe there's never been a better time in the history of the world to do that. But it's actually simple. Simple, not easy. Not easy in the fact that you guys have to get good at marketing. Not good that you have to take it seriously. Not good that you have to learn how to do this. And nobody likes doing it. I totally get that, okay? I mean, I run the marketing department here. Truth be told, I don't even like doing it, okay? Posting on socials on a regular basis, content marketing, right? Running sales, all the things that you have to do. But I don't know what the alternative is. I don't know what the alternative is. because of all the tens of thousands of artists and photographers that have come through these Zoom sessions in the last 3 years, there are maybe one or two that were doing great in the gallery. And I saw specifically, like right when COVID hit and all those gallery people got closed up, those people were flooding into these Zooms going, what do I do? I've got nothing. My income's done, right? It was terrifying. The road warriors are the road warriors. And then there's nothing else. You know, there's nothing else. Like, I've had like 6 people tell me they make more $10,000 a year on Saatchi, Fine Art America, Redbubble. I've had a couple of people on Etsy that are doing like $20,000 or $30,000 a year, but I haven't heard anyone else. So when you realize those odds, and please don't take it cynically, like this is only going to happen for you if you sign up at Art Storefronts. I don't care where you sign up or what you do, but I do care that if you want to take this business seriously and you want to see it growing year after year, it's the 2 trains, 2 tracks, no brakes. 2 trains, 2 tracks, no brakes. Okay. Now that rant is over with, I called this thing a Q4 boot camp, and I love the marathon analogy, all right? I hate running. I will never sign up for a marathon in my life. But I know some people that have, and there's one thing that you notice about those people that sign up for the marathon. As soon as you fill out that form for that miserable activity, your whole life changes. Why? You know the pain is coming. You start eating a little bit better. You start training and taking your exercising more seriously. You start getting better sleep. If it's me, you work on that drinking habit that you have, right? All of these things in your life, you start taking more seriously. And my contention, having been in this business for close to 10 years now, and having seen what goes on in Q4 the last 3 months of the year, it's a marathon that you're signed up for whether you know it or not. And the training that you do between now and then, between the fourth quarter, the buying season, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the roll up to Christmas, all of those sales that are in the water, all throughout that. More art, more photography is sold in the fourth quarter than the other 3 quarters combined almost sometimes. Like our customers that do it well have a good year based on what that fourth quarter is. And so my contention is that you're signed up for that marathon whether you know it or not. And the question is, what are you going to start doing between now and then? What are you going to start doing between now and then to get ready? Because if it's wait until the things start getting colder, kids are back at school, you're running around like a crazy person, next thing you know, it's Thanksgiving. Oh, I got to have a sale. And then you post something on Facebook and send an email to 6 people. Not going to be good. Not going to be good, right? So we need to start training now, right? We need to start getting our businesses in order now. And there's a number of different ways that you can approach that and that you can contemplate it. But step 1 in all of it is have it in the back of your head. It's coming. What you do between now and then is going to dictate the level of success that you have, and it is the most important time of the year to be selling. Without question, not even close. And you have to have your art up on the website. You have to start working on an email list. You have to start marketing regularly and consistently on the social media platforms. If you do that now, you're gonna wake up come October and you're gonna be like, oh, got a little momentum in my back. Things actually look pretty good here. People actually know who I am, and I have the ability to market and run some sales when Black Friday and Cyber Monday comes along. So very, very important to understand that. Happens every single solitary year. Every year it is absolutely fantastic in terms of sales, in terms of art and photography. So all very, very important. Pricing is another big one. And pricing is one of my favorite topics in this business period, right? And do you know what I love more than anything else? All the bullshit advice that's out there based on pricing. Here's the formula that you use for pricing. It's material cost times square inch times media times your time. Yeah, okay, great. Thanks for that. Magic, really. The only thing that matters is whether or not the art sells. There is no magical formula that's going to help you price your art if the art doesn't sell, which is why all of those formulas are nonsense. Pricing is quite simply this. And it's awesome and it's freeing. And once you do it and once you realize this lesson, and I have like a really in-depth article on this and I'm going to send it to all of you. You, creative types, need to have prices from 0 to 100. You need to have prices from 100 to 1,000. You need to have prices over 1,000. And you need to have one thing in the shop that is obscenely expensive. Okay? Now let me break that all down with some real numbers. The 0 to 100 is really, really easy, especially if you're reproducing your artwork in terms of prints. But you also have to have non-wall art as a part of your lineup, okay? It can't just be wall art. And the reason is that not everybody is ready to buy wall art all the time. And so you're out there, you're doing your marketing, you're getting your art, your photography in front of people, and they're like, wow, I really like this person. I really like their creativity. Problem, I'm not in the market for art right now. I want to reward this person for their talent, but I'm not in the market for art right now. If only they had something that was non-wall art related. Oh, they don't. Tell you what, I'll make a mental note to come back here. I'm going to go watch some cat videos, and you know what the masks do there, right? They're not coming back. They're never coming back. So the importance of having the non-wall art is so critical. No one talks about this enough. A business, specifically your guys' businesses, can be judged how well they are growing on one metric and one metric alone: the number of new customers you are acquiring per year. The number of new customers you are acquiring per year. Why? Why? Because the easiest customer to get is the one that you already have. It is significantly easier to get somebody to come back and purchase a second time than it is to go out and find a new person and have them purchase for the first time. And this is just a fundamental rule of most businesses, but specifically this business. And I alluded earlier to how important it is to not sell in galleries so that you know who is purchasing your work. There is a phenomenon in here. I stole it from this guy, so I always give him credit. Hold on, I'm going to grab his book. I stole this from Weiland, okay? Weiland is the whale guy. Most would say the best-selling artist in the United States. By the way, this book, fire, okay? Insane, amazing. You need to go buy it. Honestly, I should be on commission for this. In fact, he's got a gallery close to where I live. I'm going to go in there and get it. Short, sweet, no fluff. I'm sorry, here it is. But the rub is it's not on Amazon. I think he donates 100% of the proceeds to charity, so you have to buy it from his website. But honestly, Google this book and buy this book. Weiland defines a collector as someone that will purchase in upwards of 7+ pieces of art from him over the course of a lifetime. And this is a phenomenon I see played out continually with my own customer base. But when you have collectors, it's a phenomenon of this business, right? Like there's certain product categories that have collectors, right? If you ask my 7-year-old kid, it's those damn Pokemon cards. They're all over my floor right now. You guys would laugh if you saw these. But shoes, cars, wristwatches, art is one of them. And it's a fantastic thing because you will keep creating throughout the course of your life. And these collectors will just go along for the ride. You keep raising prices, they keep coming and buying and buying and buying. Oh, that's awesome. Emma just said that book is on Spotify for free. I did not know that. Definitely listen to it. You want to highlight it, though. I'm not kidding. Great book. Where was I going with all that? So if we know the most important thing an art business can have as a collector, and then we know in order for a collector to become a collector, they first have to purchase something, that underscores how important it is to have non-wall art as a part of the lineup, okay? That's the 0 to 100 range. Also in there, you obviously have small prints. And then let's say you're 100 to 1,000, you get into some bigger size prints, right? Your metals, your canvas, your acrylic, you go through that 0 to 1,000 range, and maybe close to the 1,000 range, you're in limited editions, and then above that, you have your originals. Everyone has to adjust it a little bit to taste. But you also need something obscenely expensive in the store. And let's say that you sell your originals, just to keep the math simple, at like $1,000. I want one in there for 10 grand. And why? Why one in there for 10 grand? That's crazy. I'm never going to sell that thing. I don't even care if you don't ever sell that thing. You ever been to a car dealership? And you know, in the car dealership, that the big glass box in the middle, I know the car dealership is a miserable feeling in most people's heads because you have to deal with the salespeople. But anyway, the big glass box in the middle, right? Let's say we're at the Toyota dealership. In that big glass box in the middle is the Toyota Supra carbon fiber TRD whatever. It's $275,000, right? There's a reason that they put those cars inside the glass box, and it's because human beings are wired to make purchase decisions based on comparison. We anchor onto certain things to compare to other certain things. And so when we go and look at that $250,000 Supra or the $150,000 Land Cruiser that's inside the glass box, we anchor onto that price point, and it makes us feel just that much better about buying the $60,000 Highlander, right? That's on the outside. And that's a phenomenon called price anchoring, and it's just one of these psychological things that's really, really, really important to do. You feel better knowing that I didn't buy the most expensive thing. It makes you feel a little bit better. That's why you put that high-priced item in there. Also, everyone's followers, yours, mine, any business, that all fall into a thing that I call the socioeconomic bell curve, okay? It's your typical bell curve, exactly what you'd expect. And down at the low end of it, you have the low socioeconomic status. Those people can't afford anything. They'll like, comment, and share on your post. They're still good people. Then you have lower income folks, middle class, upper middle class, high net worth individuals, the bell curve, right? You know, what does everyone always say to me all the time? Yeah, I just want to target high net worth buyers. Yeah, good. That's great. You and every other business on the planet, aside from the 99-cent store, wants to target the high net worth buyers, okay? That is why it's insanely difficult to do that. But the point is, you need to have this range of pricing that I'm discussing to be able to cover all of the spots on that bell curve. Because what happens when you do that is you acquire the highest number of customers possible. And the beautiful thing about acquiring the highest number of customers possible is you can market to these folks in the future. The bell curve is not a fixed entity. Your buyers and potential buyers are going up and down that bell curve their entire lives. The one that's living in their mother's basement right now is buying their new house 2 years from now. And you got that sale. Do you want to know why you got that sale? Because you sold them a mug or a mouse pad or a calendar or a whatever, and it sat on their fridge. It could be a sticker, okay, that's on my garage fridge with all the rest of the stickers. And every time I go out to get a beer, which is an enjoyable experience for me, I look at your art, okay? Now I've moved out of my mother's basement and I'm going to go buy a house, and you got that sale. And that's how it works. And I get a lot of pushback on the merch. Okay, I'm a fine artist, Patrick. I would never sell that merch, that cheap tchotchke crap. I'm not doing that. To which I respond, let me know the last time any of you went to a museum that didn't have a gift shop. I'll wait. Okay? If Van Gogh's Starry Night is on the wall, and you can also buy a Starry Night poster in the gift shop for $22 plus tax, I'm pretty sure Van Gogh's not losing any sleep over it. Technically, he's really asleep. He's dead. But you get the point, okay? You get the point. You ever been to a concert that hasn't had merch? I don't think so, okay? The Rolling Stones, take your pick, okay? Merch is very, very important in the simple lens that you acquire more customers as a result of it. So having that price range is huge. What is one of the most defeating things that happens to artists and photographers out there? You worked hours on a piece. I mean, hours. It took so much time. You're going to sell this thing for $800. And what happens? Someone's like, yeah, that's beautiful. Would you take $25 for it? Oh, you're just deflated, right? Like this person is just, I mean, it's like a troll on social media. I mean, they have just ruined your entire day. The beautiful thing is, when you have the range of pricing, it doesn't happen as much. It almost doesn't happen at all. Because people understand, they have a context of where things are in your lineup. Oh, this is $100 and under. Oh, this is $100 to $1,000. Oh, this is over $1,000. Oh, that's the $5,000 piece. And what's more, when you get those folks who don't know any better, okay, most of them are not yet people, they just don't know any better, you can be like, oh, that's fantastic. I love that you have the interest. That one costs quite a bit more, but let me show you what is in your range. And then we gently guide them to where we are in our range. Do you know how much better that is for your self-esteem? Okay, let me tell you, significantly better. It is significantly better for your self-esteem. You are going to be a happier and better functioning member of society, okay? Your significant other is like, this is awesome. Why are you in such a good mood? It's because you have the range of pricing. Very, very important. That's pricing. I'm going to send you a follow-up article on it after this whole thing's over. In addition to the pricing, the next thing I want to talk about is Instagram. Most important social network for artists and photographers. It's not even close. Secondarily, it's Facebook. Okay, have to be working on both of them. Well, Patrick, what about TikTok, or what about Pinterest, or what about SEO? Yeah, what about shiny objects that are not going to move your business anywhere and are going to put you on the road to a hobby? All right, that's what all the rest are. I don't care what anyone else says, anyone's friends, anyone. No one is selling art on any of the rest of those things, okay? They are lying to you if they're saying they are. It's nonsense. I've looked at way too much data. Aside from onesies, twosies here with weird circumstances, the two most important places that you need to be are Instagram and secondarily Facebook. And thank God for that. Okay, don't talk to me about TikTok. I'll kick you right out of this Zoom. You are lying to yourself, okay? Stupid Chinese app, communist app that is just trying to flood you with an endorphin hit. You got 10,000 views. You didn't get 10,000 views. You got 100 views from people that are never going to buy your work, okay? So when we stay focused on the only two platforms that matter, to the detriment of wasting time on any of the rest of those ones, I don't care. Just stay out of there. Stay in my lane. Facebook and Instagram and Facebook. You will end up winning. And why is Instagram the most important? What do you guys create? You create visual creations. What is Instagram? A giant visual search engine. Imagine that. Lines up pretty nicely, right? The beautiful thing is that Instagram has become, over the years, evolved into the credit check for artists and photographers. What do I mean by that? I'm going to buy something. I saw something, my neighbor had something, it's really important for me to keep up with the Jones. I'm going to go look at what he got, and what am I doing? I'm going instantaneously to Amazon. I'm going to read the reviews. Was that thing good? Is there a better one? Maybe there's a better one. Maybe I can one-up this guy because I got to keep up with the Jones. Now, we check Amazon is a way of getting credit checks, like getting the reviews of what something is, right? So you could say Consumer Reports or some of the other sites too. For artists and photographers, it's like, hey, I just saw this. I'm at your friend's house. You sold some art to your friend. I saw that. That's a great piece. Who did that? Oh, yeah, it's my buddy. It's my cousin, Mark McClanahan over there. And you should check him out. You know what they're going to do? They're going to pull out Instagram, and they're going to look for you, and they're going to look at your profile, and are they going to say, is this an artist that's doing anything? Is this an artist that's putting out content regularly? Are they on the up and up? Do they have 2 followers or 2,000 followers, right? And it's very, very important to understand, one, that Instagram offers a credit check, okay? So fundamentally, it's important just for that matter. 2, secondarily, and I should also say, like, you know, the data in this industry is so utterly, totally, completely opaque, right? Like, there's so much nonsense out there, it's mind-boggling. But there's 2 outfits that report on the super high end of the art market. One's the Hiscox Group, it's an insurance entity out of London, and the other is Art Basel teams up with UBS Payne Weber, I think that's who it is. The 2 of them put out a report, and what they do is they survey every year all of the folks that are essentially buying $100,000 pieces and up. And every single solitary year, I've watched the results of those reports when it comes out, and every year it ticks up. Did you follow and or consume content from an artist on Instagram? Was Instagram influential in your buying decision? And in both cases, both of their surveys, like, those percentages are really pretty high. So it's significant in its ability to help you guys sell art. The top-end, high-end buyers are all there, okay? So that makes it very important as well. The beautiful thing about Instagram is you can reach a ton of buyers. The terrible thing about Instagram is you have to post frequently on it for years to really make a huge dent. So, yeah, 1, you got to get started. 2, you have to understand you're going to suffer in the short term because it's not easy, and you have to learn how to do it, and you have to learn how to enjoy it and get good at it. And we can talk about that in depth. I have a ton of teaching on Instagram. But the beautiful thing that exists currently on Instagram, and I love this. Okay, we're going to have to do a little social media history lesson. But Facebook emerged. Facebook pretty much became a monopoly, okay? Power was unchecked. Then a new rising competitor came along, and Facebook is like, uh-oh, we can't have any competition. It was Instagram. We're going to go buy those folks. So they bought them. Okay, great. Now Facebook's even more powerful. It's Facebook and Instagram. I'm streaming on their platform when I'm saying this, so I get banned. You guys will know why. Zuckerberg kicks my door, and you'll know why. So now they own these 2 platforms. So the playbook was, we are a monopoly. If any competitors come along, we're just going to buy them. Okay. Snapchat emerges. Snapchat starts taking all of these young kids away from Facebook and Instagram. They're like, all right, what does the playbook say to do in this situation? Let me see the playbook. Mark, it says if we have a competitor, go and buy them. All right, somebody go and buy Snapchat. So they go and try and buy Snapchat. Snapchat says pound sand. Mark's like, okay, what does the playbook say now? We don't know. He goes, all right, we're just going to copy them verbatim. And so Snapchat had these things called stories that disappeared after 24 hours, and Facebook copied them verbatim. So, okay, now Snapchat peters out. I mean, who's using that? I don't know. Some kids, whatever. It's whatever. I don't want to talk about it. The next one came along. This time it was TikTok. And Mark Zuckerberg went right back to the playbook. He's like, okay, this is awesome. TikTok is starting to steal a bunch of our users. It's competition. What should I do? Let's go try and buy them. He goes and tries and buy them again. They tell him no. He said, my wife is Chinese. Let me buy you. They still said no. So the next thing they do is they're like, okay, what is the playbook saying next? Copy them verbatim. And so that's what they did. And by the way, the other social players were watching, and now YouTube watched, and they're like, okay, let's copy them verbatim. So what did TikTok have? These short form little videos that were 120 seconds or less and were very compelling, cell phone style video size. They copied that feature verbatim and called it Instagram Reels. YouTube saw that, copied that feature verbatim, called it YouTube Shorts. I could cycle through the 3 views of those 3 different products, and you could almost not tell the difference. They even put the buttons in the same place as copycats. Anyway, why it was a brilliant thing, TikTok coming along, is it destroyed what has been up to that point in time the social contract. What is a social contract? What do I mean by that? hey, art storefronts, work really hard on my platforms, Facebook and Instagram, and post a bunch of content. When you do, people will follow you and become fans. After you earn those followers and those fans, some small portion of what you create will be shown to those followers and fans for free. Early on in the days, it was like 90%. Recently, it's like 2 to 5%. Tiny, almost nothing, right? So that is what the social contract was. TikTok, God bless them, despite the fact that don't like the platform and think it's evil, has been still siphoning off users from Instagram at an alarming rate. It's all the younger kids and the people that are chasing likes that are not real and chasing views that are not real. It's a worthless platform. Anyway, so what they've done is they've torn up the social contract. So now where we are is we're in a scenario where you can get onto Instagram and you can have 2 followers, your significant other and your mother, okay? She likes and comments on everything. God bless you. Thank you, Mom. You can create content in the form of an Instagram reel. And an Instagram reel can potentially, if it's good, be seen by hundreds, by thousands, by even millions. In which case, you organically marketing without leaving your house, showing off your creations, understanding the platform, can get free reach. It used to be you didn't get that. And it used to be you had to pay a ton of money in terms of Facebook and Instagram ads to get that attention. Now you can do that without leaving your house. And that's an incredible, incredible thing. So it represents a huge, huge opportunity. And so that's where we stand right now as it sits in 2023. I believe Instagram is the most amazing platform that exists that can bring you guys buyers, bring you guys fans, bring you guys email addresses, and yes, sell your art with photography, but you have to get good at marketing it. You have to understand how to post. You have to work on your posting frequency, and you have to learn to love it. Which does indeed get easier with time, but it takes some time, right? And it takes some consistency. One final thing that I like to add to everything that I was mentioning in the video is, and I don't think this is talked about anywhere near enough, but art sales are 50-50 these days. It is 50% the quality, the caliber, the subject matter material of the art. How good is the photo? How good are the brush strokes? How good is the color balance? All of the things that goes into making the piece. The other 50% is who is the artist? And do I like them as a person? And do I have something in common with them? And do I find the way that they live their lives to be interesting? And is there any shared mutual suffering going on? I.e., oh, they've got 2 kids, I've got 2 kids. I stepped on a Lego this morning, almost broke my neck, and so did they. We can talk about that, right? Or you're a dog person, or a cat person, or you're a foodie, or you like cooking, you like gardening, you like paddling kayaks. We get bonded to artists. We, as in buyers and potential buyers, get bonded to artists and what make them interesting and what make them tick, and we want to feel like we know them. And that emotional component of it, that relational component of it, absolutely plays a role in a sale. And so when I get fired up about Instagram profiles that are just one giant grid of images and nothing else, how are they supposed to find out something about you? How are they supposed to find out who you are? What makes you interesting? What makes you tick? And sort of a quick visual reference is if I come to your aforementioned Instagram profile, okay, and I hit it, can I learn something about you in 30 seconds or less? If I can't, you failed. You failed. You lost an opportunity for me to bond with you. You lost an opportunity for the emotional connection, for the relational piece to start to form. And most artists and photographers left to their own devices think they can get away with 100% just the art, or 95-5, or 70-30, and it doesn't work that way. Then to take it a step further, which none of you are going to like, video is the most powerful communication medium we have in today's day and age, okay? And nobody likes being on video. I don't like being on video. If this wasn't my job, you wouldn't have any idea what I look like, okay? But it is my job, and I've become contrarian enough to understand that it is the most effective way to form a relationship, to sell art or photography, is in person, face-to-face. The next most effective way is via video. It just is. And guys, no one lives in a studio. No one has a camera crew following them around. There's no hair. There's no makeup. It doesn't matter. People really appreciate the real you, what makes you interesting, what makes you tick, what sets you apart. And so when you learn that and you start incorporating some of that into your process, not just the art, everything in your business will start to change. Because everyone has an interesting life in their own way. Everyone has an interesting story, and everyone can help are greatly helped to find their tribe, to find their collectors, to find their buyers as a result of giving a little window in. And like, you know, the line I always say is like, I'm not saying you have to become a Kardashian, okay? You don't have to dress in skimpy outfits and have somebody follow you around with a camera 24 hours a day. But every once in a while, give people a little window into your world. Like what makes you interesting, what makes you tick, what you're interested in, what you do with your spare time, how you come up with this creative eye that you did. And it's that simple. You do that, and everything in your business will change. Um, so we can get into some of the Instagram stuff. Might as well start off because there's a bunch of you in here with some questions. I should say broadly too, for those of you guys that are considering art storefronts and contemplating signing it up, we do have a cool deal that's ending today, which is we will guarantee you have 1,000 Instagram followers and your third sale by December 31st. So there's links. You can learn more about that in the chat. But let's get into the Q&A. How does the Q&A work? If you're one of the brave ones that has your camera on and you have a question, all you have to do is go old school hand raise. I'll see that, and I can bring you on. For everyone else, at the bottom of your Zoom window, you see there's this little smiley face thing, and it says reactions. If you click that, there's a little raise hand button that you can click, and that lets me know you have a question. Then I can unmute you. I can bring you in. If you want to turn your camera on, great. If you don't want to turn your camera on, don't worry about it. If you're at work or you're multitasking and you can't ask a question in person, you can just throw your question right in the chat, and I can deal with those as well. You can direct questions at me. You can direct questions at Andrea, and we'll just kind of see where it goes from there. So, Mika, you're up first. Go ahead, Mika.
Thanks. Thanks for pronouncing my name correctly.
Nice.
So when you say personal, like that your Instagram feed shouldn't just be, a grid of your work.
Correct.
I feel like I have read a million different things
Mm-hmm.
about this. You should have all of your stuff on a separate Instagram account that is just for your work.
All of the rest of those people that you were listening to have been lying to you.
Okay, great to know.
Yes.
So are you saying you don't need two separate accounts?
No. Have you tried watching 2 children instead of 1? It's insane. You want 1 child to watch, 1 account. Okay. Do not spread it.
That's really helpful. That's really helpful information. And then I guess how deep do you, because then if it's my personal, then I've got photos of my kids. I've got photos that go all the way back to 2000 and whenever I started Instagram. I don't even remember when that was.
For sure. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And like,
it's difficult. It's difficult to navigate. So it's case by case. I thought when you said 2 accounts, like 2 accounts of the business, one that does no. So if you have the personal account, okay, and you are active on that and you have a ton of friends on that, it's going to be weird if you go into major art spammy mode in there, right? So that's 100% true, and it just is.
Okay.
But those are also the people that'll support you more than anyone else, right?
Totally. So I can just bring them into my
No. It's better to just have one. 100% it's better to just have one, right? But, I don't want to post images of my kid. There's all sorts of like what ifs that come up, right? So if I was starting from scratch, I would probably just use my personal one and try to blow that up because it already has a high enough number account on it that it's going to give me the momentum. But I can understand both. It's just a deeply personal, not easy decision. Is the long and the short.
Because also my personal account is private, and I would like my work account to be public.
Yes, 100%. And you can turn it into a business account, which is helpful too. It's just it's really hard to move people from one platform to another. Everyone thinks like, "Ooh, I started my new platform. Everyone go follow me over there." And you have 5,000 friends and 4 of them move over, right? Because that's how it's a low and slow process to move people over there. But yes, in that capacity, like I said, it's just a hard decision, right? Like, especially because, one of the things that we train our customers up to post at levels that they did not even think was possible. Because there's this deadly bias that we all have as humans marketing on social media sites to think that when we post, everyone sees it. The reality is no one sees it. So when you invert your thinking that way, you realize that you can go from posting once a week to posting 40 times a week, and you will get a strong ROI out of those efforts, return on investment. So as we teach you to do that and ramp up and get more serious, if all of that is going down in your personal account, it might be a little iffy to you, right? So, yeah.
Right. Okay, can I ask just one more question?
No, please. That's what this is for. Go.
When you say videos, do you mean like this, speaking directly into the camera, or do time lapse of doing your work? Does that count?
all of the above. All of the above does. Absolutely. Like, there's room for all the my process stuff, The my process stuff is a little bit of a gray area unless you're like talking about other stuff in it. I want to make the clean distinction between the work and you as a human being, right? So the my process stuff sometimes skirts both sides of the aisle. It's you making the stuff, and by the way, my process stuff is great. And then the other side is like your personality, right? And you know what's one of the things that's like, my number one goal in life is just to get my customers to post more, because I know what happens in my business when I post more, everything changes, right? So what is like one of the things that's so popular in today's day and age? I don't know if you've seen this, but where they hold the thing backwards, right? And then they turn it around and do the reveal like this is the completed piece, right?
Oh, yeah.
Technically that's about the work. But when there's a dog jumping around in the backyard, okay, and you've got something going on in the backyard and maybe your kid runs through, and then it kind of straddles both sides, right? So that works, you know, if you were going to just like put down on paper like 10 things that are interesting about you that I couldn't find out otherwise, cover those things somehow, right? Like, you don't have to overshare. No one cares what you had for breakfast. It's just this idea of like, when I hit your profile, we human beings bond with other human beings based on similarities and things that you have in common, right? And if I can't find any of that out, you've lost me. You've lost me. Like, I might not appreciate the work anywhere near as much as I would after I get to know you a little bit, right? Like, oh my gosh, I saw this artist. Some of it caught my eye, but let me see what's on her profile. Okay, no, I'm gone. Then there you are walking your sheep-a-doodle. That's what I have, okay? And I'm like, I have a sheep-a-doodle. And the next thing you know, I'm like, she loves these kind of dogs. I love these kind of dogs. Now I'm following you. Now we have this thing in common. Then I send you a direct message. Then I see something about a sale, and then your art ends up on my wall. That's how it happens in the real world. Every single solitary day it works that way, right? So very, very important to just start doing that. And inevitably you're doing it in your personal account anyway, right? So it's just, don't do all of that stuff. Just move over some of it, right? Like, you know, it's sort of annoying to have to do the double posting, but do the double posting.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Okay. Up next is Jen. Go ahead, Jen.
Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Okay. So I'm brand new. I just signed up and I am just getting going with all this. So this is great information. I am at the point where I just created my business Instagram account. However, based on what we were just talking about, I have, you know, maybe about 700 people on my personal. Do I just stick with that? Like, I would. They keep trying to teach you, you have to have a business account, but yeah, but you know, really?
Yeah, you do. But the beautiful thing is, it's like a switch. It's literally a switch, and you can throw it back or forth anytime you want. So you can go onto the personal, switch it right into your business, into a business account, which gives you like a number of different features that we need to help it grow and do all the things. And you're off and running. It's totally fine. Like, if you don't get a ton of like personal value from sharing and doing all of that, like 100%, just, you know, it's so hard to get going in the beginning. It's the hardest, right? It's like there's all that extra momentum to get you going, you know? And if it turns into a situation where it becomes unwieldy later, then you just start another personal account. That's it, right?
Okay.
Because let's be honest, like most of those people on there, you're tired of looking at their photos anyway. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
I hate Instagram personally. I like, you know, just constantly viewing what everyone else is doing and worrying about that and keeping up with the Jones and like, why didn't I get invited to this? Like, that is not good for us. That is not healthy, right? But Instagram is a visual search engine. My goodness, is it so powerful and so amazing. It's just incredible what you can learn and see. So anyway, keep going.
So when you were saying, and I noticed this, like when you make a post, barely anybody even likes it. So you're saying 2 to 5%. But with a business account, then you can, you know, pay for the ads and stuff like that. Do you recommend that to get your post noticed?
No, not in the beginning. Not in the beginning. So I've got, and you're a customer already, so you know it doesn't matter that you're here. But these sessions are for you know, people that are considering art storefronts. We have internal ones for you that are awesome. So there's different sessions for you. But what I've come to realize, and I should say, navigating this for years, spending millions of dollars on ads, okay, and then also creating content in every capacity imaginable. The only thing that matters on Instagram is the number of pieces of content you create per week and training yourself to be able to create those number of pieces of content per week. Okay. And it all goes back to, you have to sort of be bought in on the fact that it is the #1 platform to sell art and photography. All the collectors and buyers are on Instagram. And the only thing that prevents you from reaching more of them is marketing more consistently than you ever have in your life. That's it. That's it. So when you realize that, you get into a scenario where you're like, okay, it really honestly comes down to the number of pieces of content that I've created per week. And what I find is that by focusing on that metric to the exclusion of everything else, I don't care about likes, I don't care about comments, I don't care about shares, I don't care about video views or any of the rest of that nonsense. Okay, they're all little dopamine triggers to keep us on the platform. The only thing that I care about is the number of pieces of content you created per week. Because when you focus on that, and it takes a while to ramp yourself up and get good at it. Don't worry, we're going to teach you all of this stuff. You start learning more and more. You start building up the muscles. It's like kind of like trying to do push-ups for the first time, and then, like, you know, after a month you can do 50 of them or whatever, right? You start to get an intuitive feel for the platform. You realize that Instagram is 3 separate social networks. Okay, no one knows about this. And before I say that, I have a podcast episode that like says what I'm saying right now, and it's like an hour long, maybe 25 minutes long actually. It's this one, number 54, the most important metric nobody talks about. Juan, will you throw the link tree for the podcast into the chat so people can get that?
We'll do again.
Yep. I want all of you guys to listen to this because I talk about this whole thing in how long is this thing? 24 minutes. It is power packed 24 minutes. Juan will throw a link into the chat. You can click that and you can figure out how to subscribe. It's number 54 that you want to go through. But where I was going with that is, this is the easiest way to explain it. No one ever talks about this, okay? Instagram is 3 social networks in one. It's 3 social networks inside of one social network. And the easiest way to think about it is those 3 social networks are sort of like 3 rooms in a museum, okay? And the museum only has 3 rooms. Some people come to Instagram, come to the museum, and only go into one room, and then they leave. And some people only come to that one room, and they don't ever go into the other 2 rooms. Some people come in and go to 2 rooms. Some people come in and go to 3 rooms. Some people only go into room number 3. Some people spend hours and hours and hours in room number 3. So our job is, artists and photographers trying to market our work on Instagram, is to make sure our art or something about us is hanging on the wall in all 3 rooms. In all 3 rooms consistently all week long. So what are the 3 rooms? Let's talk about them. It's a little bit easier to see it visually. And I'm going to share my screen because I know this will make it come up a little bit better. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. Let's get out of this. Let's get into this. So this is my profile, right? And I'm going to go to the home feed, and the Instagram feed is the first room in the museum, okay? And in the Instagram feed, you have individual video, you have individual photos, you have carousel photos, right? You can scroll back and forth like this. You have reels, which are, you know, how Instagram handles videos now and what they talk about videos. That's super visually compelling. And it's just a mishmash of all that stuff put in. So you can put photos in here, you can put videos, either of the 2 individually, you can put hybrids of photos and videos in a carousel. You know, you can do all those sorts of things. Okay, great. That is the first room in the museum. The second room in the museum are what are called stories. And these are these things up top, right? And they can be photos, they can be videos, they can have text on top of them. There's a bunch of different things you can do. And a lot of people come into the museum and they just do this. This is all they do. They just keep going through all the various different things that are in Instagram stories. The third, and if you look at the bottom of the screen, you see I'm going to press the little play button. These are called reels. And this, I mean, I alluded to this earlier, you know, TikTok created these things. Instagram copied them verbatim, and then YouTube copied the both of them verbatim, and now all 3 of them have the product. And these things are sort of replacing TV. They're 120-second videos or less. And there's a whole bunch of different interesting creative stuff that you can do in them. And the reels are the interesting thing, that Instagram shows these to people that follow you and don't follow you. So you can create these and have no one following you. And if you create one that's good, you could potentially get thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of views, which even some of our customers have. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate into, this is what I'm talking about, like the reveals. Like everybody's been doing these reveals recently, like, ta-da, here it is. Anyway, so there's 3 social networks, right? So once you understand that, you realize, okay, I have to learn how to create content for the feed. I've got to learn how to create reels, and I've got to learn how to create stories and keep all of those going all week long. So we'll teach you a bunch of that stuff, Jen, and we'll get you up to speed, and you're going to end up getting way better. And I do believe, like, Just use the personal one. You'll thank yourself later. You really will. Yeah, it'll just be some extra, oomph for you. But you muted again. I don't know if you have a follow-up question. Okay, you're good. Awesome. What else, guys? Questions, comments, concerns? Can be anything about anything. You can do the old-fashioned hand raise, or you can throw it in the chat, or you can do the digital hand raise. Okay, Mika's back again. All right, Mika, let's have at it.
Thanks. Yeah, just quickly. So I guess I didn't know about Reels. When I make a video, is it automatically? I thought I was.
Oh God, this is so confusing. It infuriates me. So this is the only way I can explain this. Okay, and I probably do a better job of explaining this than Instagram does. They're so damn confusing. A reel, okay, is what is created inside the Instagram editor, okay, where you say, I'm going to go ahead and do a post, and I'm going to do a reel, okay? And you go to the camera, and you're going to create it. You're going to put your things in. You're going to green screen. You're going to do whatever you want. You have 120 seconds or less to get it done. You can put in the music and everything else. That is a reel, okay? But if you create a video, okay, that's longer than 120 seconds, Instagram automatically converts that into a reel. If you do a live video, all right, and you save it, it does the live video broadcast and turns that into a reel. And what it does in those longer instances is that you get like a little preview, a trailer of the video that is reel length. And they say, do you want to watch more? And you click. So insanely confusing, I'm aware. But this is just how they're trying to compete with TikTok. So you need to focus on making the ones with the Reels editor, or you can upload, you can make the video somewhere else and upload it in. But that's how it goes. And those are the ones that are getting like the extra traction and, the extra views and all that.
So if I make, sorry for my dog.
No,
so if I make,
see, now I'm bonding with Mika over her dog. I had no idea she had a dog before. Now we're bonding over dogs.
So if I'm making a regular video, so usually what I do is time lapse. So I've made it on my phone. I edit it to whatever time. I try to usually edit it to 30 seconds or under, just because I'm afraid nobody will watch it if it's any longer.
Don't worry about that.
And so when I post that onto my story, Instagram is turning that into a reel, or no?
No, not if you do it to a story. You need to make the reel, right? So look at my screen. So you have to come in, not that one, sorry. You have to come up here, press the plus, right? And go to reel. And then, you can do camera, right? Or it'll let you pick anything from your photo library. I don't know if I have any videos in here. Look at this, my neighbor's kid. This is like my demo cell phone. And she'll come in here in my room and literally just take photos with my phone. Tyrant, that's not funny. I don't have any video. No, my son's getting in on the act. Anyway, so you have to upload it that way, and that's what will actually create a reel. And then the idea is that once you create the reel, and I'm gonna do the better screen share so you guys can see this a little bit clearer. Okay. What's cool about the reels is like you end up building up an archive of these guys, right? And so if I'm here on my profile on Instagram in the second tab, this shows me all the reels that I've created recently. What I can do is I can click on one, and so this is a reel, right? I can click on the paper airplane icon. I can go add to story. And now what it's done is it's taken the reel and it's embedded it in the story, okay? And what happens is it'll play for a short period of time. And then once it's done, you have the ability to say, do you want to keep watching this reel? Like it says that on the reel, and they can click on it. And, you can change the background and put in jazzy stickers, right? Or, whatever you want and make it interesting. But there it is. I just did that. And let's just say I had created that reel. 1, I just created the reel. 2, I just now shared it to my story. Boom, boom. 2 for 1, right? So, these are the types of things that you learn. So I'm talking about Jen that we'll be teaching you. I see Jen's looking at this. She's like, oh my God. Do you have any idea how uncomfortable you're going to be for the next couple of months when we have to teach you all of this stuff? I do not sugarcoat things in the slightest. Like I tell all my customers straight, like, we are going to teach you so much, and it is going to take a long time. You are going to be pulling your hair out of your head. And the fact that you've already signed up means this is not going to scare you off. This is just how it goes in the beginning. You got a ton of stuff to learn, right? But okay. Did that answer it, Mika? I don't know if you still have more. Yep. All right. Mika's good. Okay, guys. Who else? Questions, comments, concerns? Can be anything about anything. Anything about what we do, anything about our packages, our plans, getting on board ahead of Q4, questions for Andrea. Everyone's looking at me like it has been a long week. See, okay, there we go. Okay, Mika's got another one. I'm gonna get Paulette first, and then I'll get you, Mika. Paulette, if I came to your Instagram profile right now, would I be able to learn anything about you? Tell me the truth.
A little bit.
A little bit. Little. All right.
Yeah, I'd like to hear more about your packages, please.
Yeah, absolutely. We use this session as like sort of the, like I said in the beginning, like how do we operate? What do we think? What are our, theories, strategies, techniques, tactics, all that. If you haven't gotten a demo, you should definitely get a demo, because what the demo is like a hour run through on a Zoom where they show you what the software looks like, the front end, the back end, all the plans, all the packages, all of this, all of that, all the bells, all the whistles, and all the rest of it. Most people that just come in, they're like, okay, so you guys are basically just a website solution, right? And it's like, well, no, we're a little bit more than that. Yes, we have a website. Yes, it's the best website solution that's out there. Yes, websites are commodities and completely worthless in today's day and age. The analogy I sort of use is like, you could have the nicest restaurant in the world, but if there's no one inside of it, what is that good do? Nothing, right? You guys all have a marketing problem. So we have a website. We charge a monthly fee for a website, and then we are essentially a postgraduate university that teaches art, photography, creative, business, and marketing all week long. We have essentially all the DIY education. We have 9 sessions like this one internally every single solitary week to teach you all these various different things, get you unstuck, let you ask questions. We have a calendar that tells you what to do 365 days a year. So we have all kinds of bells and whistles. It's important to see the demo. How we charge is a one-time fee to get into the university, and then a regular monthly fee for your website. Jen, you probably know better what the prices are than I do at this juncture, because you just went through a demo and signed up. But if it piques your interest, I would go and get the demo and see. At least then you have the whole plan, the whole package. But we've had like a really weird, not really weird, but like a really rocky road of discovery on this whole business. Like, we started out with just the websites, and we're like, okay, this is great. We've got the best websites of anyone. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have a huge business, right? No, we don't have a huge business. Everyone is canceling, and the reason they're canceling is because no one is successful with just a website, right? There's a stat that came out last year from Shopify, and Shopify is one of the biggest e-commerce companies in the entire world, biggest market capitalization of all the companies in Canada, believe it or not, which is a crazy stat. But in 2021, the average website on Shopify lasted a little bit less than 5 months before they canceled. And it's not a knock on Shopify. Shopify is a great company. It's a great product. It's because they didn't fix the real problem. And the real problem is the marketing. If you are not taught to market, if you don't start marketing consistently, nothing in the business will ever change. So that is the entire ballgame, and that's what we sort of evolved and become. And now we have an entire army of people that are teaching you on the inside, week in, week out, for the rest of your art selling life, because that's what it takes. That's absolutely what it takes. That's what I would say. And if you want a demo, there's Juan's throwing links in the chat, and you can get the 1,000 thing. Yeah. What the general sense of pricing, I think we're 1,000 and change down, and then like 49, 59, 69 a month. Jen, do you know what it is off the top of your head? I'm unmuting you. Jen will tell you. She just signed up. No, Jen's like, I don't even know. What package did you get, Jen, and why? Tell us that. I'm curious.
So I ended up doing the Mac Daddy package. I don't remember what it was. The gold. I went with the gold because I've tried to do this for myself through the years. And like you just said, without the marketing and the knowledge and the training to do the marketing, it sits, it's stale.
It still goes nowhere. Yeah.
I ended up, I think, signing up for like the 3-year gold plan, which was, do you want me to?
Yeah, you can say.
It was like around $5,000, but that's the hosting, that's the website, that's the marketing, that's everything, and I don't have to worry about it. It's a big investment.
For 3 years, too.
For 3 years. Yeah. But I've also built another website for a different photography business, for my real estate photography business, and all of those costs, all of those hosting, all of that, you pay anyway.
You pay anyway.
You pay anyway.
And it's not just that. What you really pay is with the lost time, which you can't get back, right? Because, when I say the lost time, you're not marketing the business. you quit because it gets hard and you don't have anyone to teach you and you don't have the support system. And then a year goes by and you're right back in the exact same place you were. And then it's New Year's resolution time. This is going to be my year. I'm going to market consistently this year. Let's go. And then you're going to the gym 4 days a week in January. And then March rolls around and you haven't been once all month and the year is gone again, right? I should also say too, you guys, we build your website for you. You don't get to even build the website. You want to know why? Because I don't want you learning HTML or CSS or speaking GoDaddy or searching forums to turn plugins in. It's just not a good use of your time. You don't need to worry about any of that. The other two things are hard enough. Creating the work and marketing the work, right? And, it's funny because Jen says, like, teaching the marketing and going through that whole process, it's rather more than that, okay? It's accountability, which you haven't had anywhere else. It is mild harassment, which means I will yell at you on the inside if you don't do it consistently. I do it mild-mannered, okay? Occasionally we resort to bribery because that's what it takes. Cajoling, carrot, stick, the community, whatever. We throw everything at you guys to just keep you marketing consistently because it is the only thing that moves the needle. It is the only thing that will actually grow the business, and that's it, right? And, it's funny, Jen, because you know intuitively because you're a business owner in another capacity, like you have to solve the real problem.
Yeah.
Art and photography is a business, at least, especially at first, is not a meritocracy on the work. It's not a meritocracy on the work. It's a meritocracy on how effective you are at getting the work in front of people's eyeballs. That's it. The best art being created doesn't get sold. No one is coming to discover you. No one, like, you wonder why you
marketing.
Go ahead.
Sorry, you guys do your marketing in all three levels of your of your price.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. You can go up and down at any point in time. But what artists and photographers tend to do is they tend to think that I'm going to create great work and someone's just going to find me and discover them. You too, Paula, because it's getting feedback. Someone's going to come through me and they're going to discover me and they're going to find me and like I'm going to catch my break. And it's why you guys get preyed upon so often in Instagram with your art is so great. Let's make it into an NFT. In order to do that, send me crypto or do this, all the nonsense that you guys get in Instagram all the time. You have to take the marketing seriously. You have to. Otherwise the business will not go anywhere. It just won't. You don't have to sign up with us, okay? There's lots of outfits out there. You can go and do it. But if you don't fix the marketing problem, the business is not going to go anywhere. It's just not. And I know it's hard because nobody wants to do it consistently, which is why we have all those bells and whistles and everything else. Okay, I'm unmuting you again. Paula, if you have any follow-ups. You'll need to unmute again, Paula. I don't know if you do have a follow-up or not.
Sorry. Yeah, I have no follow-ups. I'll get on. I was texting because Reed sent a message. I think who's from your company, and he's like, "Let's hop on a demo." And I was like, "I'm on with Patrick, so yes, I'll do that."
Brand new father, Reed, just got back, and I'm muting you again because of the feedback. He just had his first child like 2 weeks ago, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, you guys, the NFTs are just a complete scam. Okay, just an utter, total, and complete scam. And they're like not by design, not what they were created to do, not the promise of the blockchain, but all of those people that are sending you Instagram messages are all scams. Hey, I have an idea. I want to buy your artwork, but let's make it really, really difficult and throw in a bunch of cryptocurrency and having to mint things and doing 27 other steps instead of just buying it from you. If it sounds too good to be true, right? Or if it sounds too stupid, then of course it is. Yeah, so Asaf asked a good question. I might as well unmute you because I'm curious what you've heard so far. Asaf, I'm unmuting you. And I hope
okay.
Did I pronounce your name correctly? Is it Asaf?
You did. Well done.
Nice. I'm 2 for 2. God, that's great. I might as well quit while I'm ahead. What have you heard about Copilot?
I mean, I know the basics, which is like 15 posts a month on Facebook, 15 posts a month on Instagram, 2 campaigns a month, if I recall correctly. But I'm not sure like of the level of that stuff and how deep it goes, like how much input and insight and communication I have with the team doing that stuff.
Yep. Great questions. So he's obviously had a demo and gotten this information. So I sort of need to explain this and tee this up for everyone else because they don't understand it, and then I'm going to go into the depth for you. So you know that saying, like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink? That has been the struggle with my customers for the last 5 years. Hey guys, huge sales coming up, Mother's Day. Here's what we're going to do. okay? And we published a playbook on how to market for Mother's Day. How many emails you're going to send, when you're going to send the emails, when you're going to do the social post, how to contemplate the discount, how to turn things on, how to turn things off, what to do during, before, after, the whole thing. And then we schedule a Zoom workshop just like this one. And we all talk about the sale, how we're going to run the sale, what to think about, what you're doing here, what is everything ready to go? Yep. And then I ask my customers, you guys, are we clear on everything? Does everyone have everything they need? You got all the templates, all the language, everything? You know what I would get from my customers? Yeah, Patrick, yeah, I'm going to do it. And then do you know what happened after the sale was over and I audited what they did? They posted 3 times instead of 30. Okay, they changed the language that we asked them to use. And I found that to be infuriating, and it is the horse to water, but you can't make them drink, okay? So we created Copilot because we have control of your website. That means we can do everything on your website. We can set up a coupon code. We can put in a discount. We can change your lead capture form and change the announcement bar up at the top and turn all of that off after the fact because we have all of your images, okay? Because we have all of your emails because the software is also, the CRM, the Customer Resource Manager, Relational Manager. I hate the acronyms, whatever. We have all your emails. Then we connect to your Facebook account. Then we connect to your Instagram account. And what Copilot does, and this is an additional service, it's not part of the main offering. Some people have it. I think we have like 2,200 customers of these 11,000, something like that. Anyway, what it allows us to do is start posting on your behalf, running sales on your behalf, and doing all of that without you lifting a finger. And it's solving for the horse to water, but don't let him drink scenario, okay? So what we do is we schedule all of these posts. It goes into your back end, and if you don't touch them, it goes. We'll set the coupon code on your site. We will have all the announcements going. We will send the emails out. We'll resend the emails to the unopens. We will do all of the posting on the socials. After it's all over, we'll turn all that off, okay? And we do that to ensure that the effort is not phoned in, that it's properly taken care of. The easiest way to think about it is if your art was in a gallery, Copilot is the gallerist. They're there to talk to whoever comes in, make the sale, and get it over the line for you, okay? Do you know what they can't do? The other 50% I was talking about earlier. The other 50% I was talking about with Mika and a couple of the others. Like, what makes Asaf tick? Where is he from with that name? Where did he grow up? Right? Like, where are you from with that name, by the way? If I had to guess, man, that's a hard one. Could go Turkish. I could go Middle Eastern somewhere.
I was born in Israel.
You're born, it's Israeli. Okay.
I'm Israeli, but I also live in Silicon Valley in the Bay Area.
In the Bay Area. You speak Hebrew?
Sorry?
You speak Hebrew?
I do.
See, there we go. Now, can I find that out if I hit your Instagram profile?
No.
No. Okay. And so that is what you were responsible for, right? Telling those stories, letting people know, like, what makes you interesting, what makes you tick. I would identify as Jewish. I would let people know that's the type of artist that you are, right? And that's the stuff that I want my customers to focus on. Creating the artwork and doing the marketing only you can do, which is the window into your world, right? So that's how it goes. And you can change any post on Copilot, but I highly recommend you just don't. You get that extra time back to go and do the other 50%. That's it. And then you're just creating the work and you're doing the 50%, and that's it. The process that's difficult is just the beginning, because in order for Copilot to really cook with gas and really work, you can't have the aforementioned your significant other and mother following you on Instagram, and you can't have 3 people on your email list, right? So we need to work on growing those things as judiciously as possible, but we're very, very good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, and Paul, how is the process automated? No, there's no other software or tools. It's our software, our tools, all of it. Like, we take care of 100% of it, which is really fun. Do you know what's crazy is that, I've got some customers that have been with us for 7, 8, 9 years that are now on Copilot. And what's so interesting is that there is a vicious cycle. Okay, this is what I'm calling the vicious cycle of the art world. Let me know if any of this sounds familiar to you guys. All right, you spend a bunch of time creating a body of work in a season of life. After you're done, you don't do any marketing. So you never show any of that damn work to anybody to find out whether or not it'll actually sell. Then some time passes. You're over that. you're pulled in a new creative direction. You create the next body of work, and you don't talk about the old body of work ever again or show it off ever again. You just constantly move on. That's the vicious cycle. Create the thing. Don't do any marketing because I hate it, and no one sees it. You don't even know what you have on your hands, whether it'll sell it or not sell. And then you get over it. You move on to the next one. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. What's interesting about Copilot is Copilot will cycle through everything that you have on your site. It's like constantly playing the oldies and then playing the new ones, playing the oldies, playing the new ones. And what our customers are finding is the old stuff is selling. Imagine that. Because for the first time, the work has actually been marketed. It's actually gotten in front of eyeballs and it sells. And you continue to build your list and you continue to let the machine just rotate through all of the pieces in all of the different ways. And that's just an awesome, awesome thing to do, right? So yeah, I'm really, really excited about it. We launched it in March, and this is going to be our first Q4. So, like, when we teach you to run a sale, you know, we have, like, a big sale could have, like, 65 tasks that you need to do between all of the individual social posts and the emails and what you have to do on the website. Sometimes 100. Like, the fact that that all is going to be done without my customers having to touch it, I'm effectively taking the horse to water and putting its head into the water and giving it a drink. And it's going to change the game because you guys are your own worst enemies, you know, for all the aforementioned reasons. Don't like doing the marketing. I don't want to be salesy, right? I get so infuriated with the salesy. Do you know more art is sold in the world at discount than not? Facts. Just is. More art in the world, I would guess probably 90% plus is sold at discount. You know, I showed the book earlier. I really do think you guys should get this book. It's a great book, right? The Don't Be a Starving Artist, Weiland the Whale Guy. It's rumored he's doing $40 million a year, okay, between his galleries and everything else. You go to his website, the whole entire website's on sale all the time. All the time. If you're a photographer, you want to pick a photographer, everyone always likes talking about Gray Malin. Gray Malin is doing $20 million a year. Do you know how often his marketing team is running sales? All the time, right? All the time. There is a simple equation that says discount plus scarcity equals human beings, i.e. us, i.e. your buyers, more likely to take action, okay? The discount can be anything. The scarcity can be anything. The discount can be anything from free shipping. It can be 10% off, 5% off, 20% off, buy one, get one free, whatever, some sort of incentive. The scarcity is the deal is going to end in 24 hours, in 48 hours, on Monday, on Friday. When you do that, human beings are more likely to take action. It's just facts. And by the way, the art in galleries is discounted even more than the art online. The reason that galleries don't ever talk about anything, they are some of the most opaque institutions in the history of mankind, is because they don't want anyone to know how hard they negotiate on every single solitary piece. Rich people didn't get that way by paying retail. They just didn't. So that's just one of those things you have to come to terms with. Yes, you can sell AI-generated art all day long. We don't care who generates the art or how that all works. So that's what I would say. But all right, guys, who else? Any finals, questions, comments, concerns? I will, of course. Oh, yeah, Misha. Sorry, I forgot. Go ahead.
Me?
Yeah.
No, wait. Yeah.
Yeah, what did I say? I said Misha, Mika. I got it right.
That's okay.
I don't know why I saw this. Yeah.
So, shit, I had a question. I had like 2 questions, and now I'm forgetting which one. Okay, so, sculptures.
Yes.
No, wait. Going back first. Did I see on your website that you also that you make prints of our art?
Yeah.
You do.
Oh yeah. All
so
that.
how does that work? Do we ship you
No. Yeah. So if it's an original,
yeah.
Unfortunately, at this juncture, it brings me. Well, I'm just bummed out of it. We have not invented a magic carpet that goes to your house and picks it up and ships it for you. We're working on it. I thought I was told it was coming soon, but I do not see the magic carpet. Okay, I would like to take it out for the weekend. That's number one. I've been promising the wife. So originals is for you, okay? But all the prints, all the merch, we take care of for you. And so you get connected. You pick one of the 2 printers. We have one on the West Coast, one on the East Coast. They're more or less the same. One's a huge ritzy name. One's not a retail store, but whatever. And you get an order. You get paid. Printer gets paid. Printer prints it. Printer boxes it. Slaps your logo on the side of it, ships it. You don't lift a finger. Not a finger. All the emails, everything's together. Done.
We send our original to them.
No,
and they make. Sorry, I'm confused.
Yeah, you know, if someone buys an original, obviously you have to ship it because you have possession of it.
Of course, but how does the printer get the work to make the print?
You got to get the work photographed or scanned. but we teach you how to get that done. It's really easy.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And then second question, do you teach anything about like how to ship originals without them? This sounds like so stupid and so crazy, but every time I
total non-issue. We have literally a Facebook group with 10,000 people in it, and they all give each other advice on this all day long, including what shippers to use, how to pack, videos on how to pack, call this person, call that person. I got this guy off Craigslist. He'll come to the house and do the whole thing. Like, there's a whole network.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Even if it's not paintings.
Yeah, even if it's not
like
paintings.
Sculptures.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And rule number one, Mika, for perspective, do you know what's hard in this business? Selling the art. Do you know what's not? Everything else, including the shipping. Everything else is easy in comparison. So don't worry about it. Sculpture, you know, depending on if you're carving it out of marble and it weighs 1.5 tons. Okay. There's some trade craft there, but you know, for everything else, sell the art, don't worry about anything else. The beautiful thing about art, and I don't want any of you guys ruining this, okay, whether you sign up or not. Art has not been Amazonified. What do I mean by that? The expectation is not that things ship for free at all. Like 98% of my customers charge for shipping. And do you know how often I hear complaints about that? Never, ever. So let's all sign a pact here on Friday, okay? Let's not Amazonify art, right? Let's never let the expectation be that it ships for free. So, because you need that margin in there. And with the sculptures, what I would say broadly, the tradecraft is get the deposit or get the full purchase price and then let them know the shipping company will be contacting them or something to that effect. Don't let it ruin the sale, right? In sculpture, it's a little different too than prints, right? Because if you're in an in-person negotiation or you're in email negotiation, you always want to have that shipping cost, whatever it is, in your back pocket in the event that that's what it takes to get the deal over the line. You know, it can become a really, really powerful negotiation tactic. Like, we actually recommend all of our customers mark their prints up 250% from wholesale cost to them, just to have a little bit of buffer, right? Like, I really like this one, but I don't know. Well, I'll tell you what, Mika, if I ate the shipping, would you take it today? You're going to have to take it today, though. Notice that awkward pause where I don't say anything after the fact. They usually will come back and like, okay, yeah. You know, if you eat the shipping, then I'll let that happen. So very, very important to like retain that. But yeah, these are the things we teach all year long. But the easy thing is everything else. Just getting the sale. All right. Somebody else asked a question about. Oh yeah. So our software, you upload the image that you've taken of your art, and our software instantaneously tells you, based on DPI, this is how big of a print you can rip off of this thing. So it'll tell you in 2 seconds. But the easiest way to do it is hire someone on Craigslist to come to your house, set up the lights, and do everything that you have in one day, or your studio, you know, wherever it is. And we have a whole bunch of guys that do that. You know, we have a customer that he has a business. So if you live in New York or upstate New York, you can call him. He used to photograph all the art for Sotheby's, and he wrote this like really in-depth blog post for us on how to light it and how to do everything else. And I'm not going to send it to you, and I don't want you to read it, because you hire somebody off Craigslist, they come to the house, you get anywhere from $35 to like $45 per image, you get it all done at once and you're done. Then you can reproduce that thing in perpetuity. I don't need you guys learning another freaking thing. That's why we don't let you touch the websites. Doing the 50%, then only you can do the marketing, and creating the art is more than enough. Trust me, responsibilities. Okay, there was another question. What's the difference between your website and Art Finder? Okay, so our website is your website. We're just providing it for you. It's your URL, your business, your domain, your all of that. We teach you how to drive traffic to that website, but ultimately it is your business on the beautiful www, the World Wide Web, and in every other capacity. Art Finder is essentially just a marketplace, I believe, right? Like, where you're in there with the thousands and thousands and thousands of other artists, and they claim, oh yeah, we've got all these collectors. Yeah, okay, great. How is it collectors going to find me among the 7,000 artists you have on here? They're not. That's why none of those things ever work. The only thing that works is directly marketing yourself. And yes, Mika, we help you with pricing. I'm going to send you an article after the fact to everybody, because it's in the email, and it's like a super deep dive on how you approach pricing. Very, very thorough. So, okay. What about cell phone art? Yes, you can literally sell anything as long as it's legal. And quite frankly, I don't even care if it's legal as long as I don't see it. No. I think I think up to now we've had like, in 10 years, no joke, we've had maybe 2, maybe 3 like official lawyer takedown notices where we had to take down the art. But other than that, like what you sell is up to you. It can be absolutely anything. If we get a notice from an angry lawyer, we'll look at that, and if it has to come down, it has to come down. But other than that, it's totally up to you. So, yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, you can use that all day long. Most cell phone art is vector anyway, and so vector is infinitely scalable. If it's raster, it's a little bit of a different story. But there's that whole differentiation. So I don't know if you're using like Photoshop on the phone or what you're doing. But okay, I'm gonna send you the replay. I will send all the inside articles and pieces and videos and all the rest of the stuff. If you want to take advantage of the deal, you can throw that link into the chat. Juan, then you automatically qualified for the 1,000 guaranteed Instagram follower thing in your first sale. For the rest of you that are not ready today, I want you to subscribe to the podcast. It's good. It's free. It's awesome. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's everywhere. It's also on YouTube. It's called the Art Marketing Podcast. Juan threw a link in the chat. If you click on that, there's all the little ways you can subscribe. You can even do it right now on your phone or your computer. Put out like a lot of our latest and greatest thinking on there. And yeah, it's good. Over 500,000 downloads and counting. Thank you very much. Okay, proud of that. For the art niche, that's good, right? Pretty good. A couple of negative reviews, but I don't take them personally. These things happen. I want all of you to have a wonderful weekend. Okay. And Lorraine, the fact that you don't have a follow-up question after coming on yesterday, okay, I can't believe it. Lorraine, I feel a little bit let down. Do you want to ask a question of your fellow Canadian, Andrea? Because she's here, too. We don't, because of this stupid ass, why are we like in competition between America and Canada? I actually think we should just merge into one nation personally. Somebody suggested that on Twitter the other day. Andrea's like, no. But they do this weird tariff stupid thing where they charge money. Like it just makes it hard. So I don't think we've been advertising in Canada anymore. So don't get to see as many Canadians. But anyway, hope you guys all appreciated it. I want you to all have a wonderful weekend. I'm gonna audit every one of your Instagram accounts Monday, and if I come to them, okay, and I can't find anything out about you, okay, Mika, go and get a picture of that damn dog in the backyard and get it on the profile. All right, a little bit of that stuff goes a long way, you guys, and it's much easier to create the second post after you've created the first one. All right, thanks, guys.